Welcome to Fanatics Live, where we virtually connect you to your favorite athletes right at home. Tonight, we will be meeting with fans, signing autographs, and engaging in live Q&A. Now, let's welcome our host.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jessica Blaylock, and I'm here with another edition of Fanatics Live, where we are all about bringing your favorite athletes to you right at home. Tonight's show is brought to you by the Fan Cash Rewards Card by Fanatics. As a Fan Cash Rewards card holder, you receive benefits and perks, including access to unforgettable experiences with athletes, earn 6% fan cash on every purchase, exclusive deals and offers, and much more. Tonight, we are taking it back to the world of football with one of the most prolific two-way players of all time, Charles Woodson. To truly pay tribute to Charles, you have to highlight his accomplishments on both the collegiate and the professional level. While at Michigan, he led the Wolverines to a share of the 1997 national championship. He also won the Heisman Trophy, which we will have more on in just a little bit. Then in the NFL, he was the Defensive Rookie of the Year in 1998, the Defensive Player of the Year in 2009, a 9-time Pro Bowler, a Super Bowl champion with the Green Bay Packers, and now he is in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And by the way, that's just scratching the surface of all that he has achieved. Without further ado, let's welcome in Charles Woodson. Charles, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I am doing great. Now, I've got some questions for you. Fans have some questions for you. But first, I have to ask you, what are you sipping on? Because it looks delicious.
Well, there's only one thing I could be sipping on right now. And this is a Cabernet from my own label, Intercept Wines by Charles Woodson. So cheers to everybody out there watching.
I love it. And the Cabernet is the way to go. Now, we're going to get to those fan questions in just a few moments. But first, I want to kick things off with a few questions of my own. Now, you're from Ohio. You were born in Fremont, Ohio. Your senior year of high school, you were named Mr. Football for the state of Ohio. So I have to ask you, how does Mr. Football for the state of Ohio end up at Michigan?
Yeah, it's really crazy. Growing up, my older brother was a big Michigan fan. And so I kind of followed him as a youngster. He was, like my first childhood idol. And so he liked Michigan. I liked Michigan. And so I just began to watch Michigan as a team. And, certain guys, of course, caught my eye. There was a running back there named Tony Bowles. A lot of people don't know of him, but he was a great running back there in the mid-'80s. Tyrone Wheatley, think about him. Desmond Howard, Trip Wellborn, Walter Smith, and Chris Callaway. Both of those guys wore number 2. So I loved those guys, and my number in high school was number 2. So I gravitated towards the Michigan Wolverines. And so, when it came time for me to, kind of decide between what schools I wanted to go to, Michigan was always high on my list. And that's how I choose to go up north.
Like I mentioned earlier, you won the Heisman. You are still the only primarily defensive player to have ever won the Heisman Trophy. How special is that for you?
That's for you to even to say it and to say it that way. When you think about, collegiate football and how long it's been around, how many great players have come through the NCAA, and how many great players have won the Heisman Trophy. All of them basically being on offense, and then for me to be the only guy, to play defense and win the Heisman Trophy, man, to me, it speaks for itself. There's really not a whole lot I could really say to kind of, boost or amp up what that means, because I'm the only guy, so whenever we're shooting those Heisman commercials during the summer, there's only one guy that can stand on the defense and face all of these offensive guys. So I feel pretty good about that. And you know what? I feel good about my chances against those guys too.
I love it. Hey, another accomplishment that you were able to add to your resume recently was being inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. We've all seen the video of Dave Thunder delivering the news. Has that sunk in yet, that you're in the Pro Football Hall of Fame?
Yeah, I would say it's sunk in, but it's still something that people say, hey, have you come down yet? And I just don't think I'll ever come down from it. The reason being is that I've spent basically a lifetime playing football. When I think back to my think back to my life in general, football was always a part of it, so to get to a point to where your football playing days are done, there's nothing after this as far as playing the game. And then you're able to join the greatest team ever assembled, being the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and to be mentioned with all of the great people and great players that have played this game. There's only a few that get to make it to the Hall of Fame, and I'm one of those guys. And so I'll never, ever, come down from that high.
That's awesome. Well, we have some fans who are so excited about getting the opportunity to ask you questions, and we are going to kick things off with Tom S. from Holland, Ohio. He said if he could be a professional at anything, he would be a professional golfer. Now, it is a challenging game, but you always get the opportunity to make a great shot. So, Tom, let's go ahead and welcome him in and see what he has for you, Charles. Go for it.
Hey, Charles, how you doing?
Go Blue. I'm doing well.
Go Blue. Hey, want to say hi from everybody here in Northwestern Ohio, back in your home area.
That's right.
So really nice to spend a little bit of time with you.
You as well.
So my question is when you started playing football back in Fremont as a youngster, who was it that you looked up to and really wanted to be like when you grew up to be, who you are? But who did you look up to then?
Yeah, a couple of people. I mentioned earlier, my older brother who was a big Michigan fan, and that's how, I come to love, the University of Michigan and Michigan athletics. So my older brother, Terry Carter, he was in my town, he was, football, basketball. I'm not basketball, but football, track, wrestling, and, baseball as well. So he was a stud in my hometown. So I looked up to my brother, and of course he was right there in my house as well. So I got to look up to him, and he was the reason why I started playing some of the sports that I played as a kid. And then also Walter Payton. Walter Payton was a guy, man, that I loved growing up. I loved, really everything about him. You think about the name Sweetness, it's kind of hard not to enjoy watching a person that run on the football field as a running back in the NFL and his nickname be Sweetness. And, the thing about him is that he had that name, but he was also, he had grit. He was a tough runner as well. So he had finesse, which we know him as Sweetness, but he'd run you over. He'd run through your chest as well. So I really loved him, man. And I always tell people that when I was on the playground as a kid and everybody was picking, who they were in the NFL, Walter Payton was the guy that I picked. And I played running back, all my life, up until I got to college. And he was the guy that I really looked at as a guy that I tried to emulate as much as I could as a football player. So my older brother, Terry Carter, and then Walter Payton.
Very good ones. Very good ones.
And Charles, I believe that you are autographing footballs tonight for all of the fans that get to ask a question. So, yep. Tom, you're going to be able to add that. You look like you have a pretty sweet collection of footballs already.
We do.
We're gonna add a pretty special one for you. So this one, I'm gonna put this one to Tom. Right.
That's pretty cool.
All right, we'll sign that. We'll put that Michigan number 2 on there, and then also. Boom.
There you go. There you go.
That's awesome. That's what you call hot off the press.
Yeah, that's right.
That's awesome. Right. Tom, thank you for the question and enjoy the football. I know that'll be really special for you.
Thank you. Hope to see you in Canton.
Hey, appreciate it. Cheers to you.
We're going to keep the questions going with another Tom from Ohio. It's Tom P. from Toledo, Ohio. And he said if he could go pro in anything, he would be a professional baseball player because it's America's pastime. And he believes that being a leader is having the ability to inspire others to give their best every time. Let's welcome in Tom P. Tom.
Hello.
How's it going? Go Blue.
Go Blue.
I got my son Bubba here, and just a real honor and privilege to have some time with you. And just the question I had for you tonight was, who do you feel like was your toughest cover collegiately and professionally, the toughest receivers that brought out the best in you?
Collegiately, I would say Terry Glenn, the late Terry Glenn from Ohio State. When I think back to playing in college, to me, he was the as far as talk about a guy who had NFL talent. He was the one guy that I went against that I said, man, this is and I was young. I was a freshman, and I had to go up against him, and he was so smooth as a receiver with speed, and then also he ran great routes as well. And for me coming in as a young freshman, not having played against that caliber of player, coming out of high school and then having to go against Terry Glenn, college, he was definitely the best that I had gone against as a collegiate athlete. And then once you bounce into the NFL, again, as a young player going against a guy who was, kind of seasoned in the NFL was Marvin Harrison. Okay. Marvin Harrison was he was a complete package. When you talk about speed, hands, quickness, great route running. They played there in Indianapolis on that turf, so it seems like he was probably a step faster than he would normally be just playing on regular grass. And every time I played him, the couple of times I played him, we played him in Indy, and so I had to play on that turf, man. And it didn't hurt that he had Peyton Manning throwing to him. So, yeah. Marvin Harrison, I would say, as far as my NFL career, he was the toughest guy I had to guard.
Well, it's been a pleasure watching your career. You've always brought great honor to the University of Michigan, and have a lot of respect for you. And just keep throwing down those ascot ties, will you?
Hey, man, those ascots ain't going nowhere, man. So I appreciate that.
Right,
I'm glad you like the ascots.
I love them.
That's awesome, Tom. You're also going to be able to take home an autographed football from Charles Woodson. I see you've got a sweet helmet there behind you. And how cool that you get to share this experience with your son, as well as Charles.
It's wonderful. Been a wonderful opportunity. I'm very grateful.
Absolutely.
So, Tom, I know you got a lot of Michigan stuff in the background, but this one, it says "Go Pack Go." You want the Packers on there, right?
How about your Heisman and Go Blue?
Yeah, I put the Go Blue. I got you. Go Blue on there. Perfect.
Yeah, buddy.
See, that's the thing with Charles. There's literally so many accomplishments and so many great spans of his career that you could pick from what you want on the football.
Hey, man. Yeah.
Thank you.
There you go, baby.
There you go.
Awesome. Enjoy that,
Thank
Tom.
you very much.
Go Blue.
Hey, Go Blue. Good talking to you guys.
All right.
Yeah, we're going to hear that a lot today. Go Blue. Next up, It's Rahman from San Diego. He believes that a leader inspires, encourages, and draws the best out of their team. They go hard or they go home. They go hard, much like Charles Woodson. Let's welcome in Rahman. Rahman, what's your question?
Charles, what's happening, my man?
What's up, my man? Hey, go Raiders.
Go Raiders, that's right. So, Charles, my question for you today is this. First and foremost, congratulations on making it to the Hall of Fame.
Thank you.
You're the GOAT. We love you and appreciate everything you've done for the game and every time you represented the silver and black. So my question for you is this. You live by the words, build your legend. And we all know they're not just words for you. It's a lifestyle. It's a way of life. What advice do you have for anybody out there that's currently on their road and their process to building their legend?
Oh, man, first and foremost, there's no substitute for hard work. You got to think about it. When you look at, your surroundings, and much of what we see now is on social media, on television, and it's easy for all of us to train our eyes on the finished product of what you see. But you're not always able to see what goes into it. What steps a person had to take, what kind of pitfalls they had to go through, what mountains they had to climb. You just see the finished product and it all looks so glamorous. It all looks so good, but you can't be blinded by that. You got to understand the hard work that they go through. And you have to understand that in your own life and when you're trying to reach your own potential goals, that you have to work hard at it. There's only a few people in life that get so lucky that they land somewhere that they had no idea that was going to happen to them. But for the most part, everyone has had to work through something and build on that in order to get to where they are. And so that's where build your legend comes for me, right? Is that, yes, I'm here now in the Hall of Fame. What an incredible honor it is for me to be in the Hall of Fame. But I've had years and months and weeks and hours and minutes of training at my craft in order to get to the Hall of Fame. And I had to build my legend all the way up to that point. But the thing is that once you get there, you ain't done, because there's still more for me to do after I've reached this plateau. Now there's other plateaus that I'll continue to build my legend. And so for everybody out there, and it doesn't matter whether you're an athlete, an entertainer, an artist, whether you're, school teacher, everyone can build their legend, right?
Yeah.
But it's everything that goes into it that makes you a legend. So for everyone out there, man, everyone can be a legend. So please go out there and build your legend.
That was amazing, Charles. Thank you.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Wise words of wisdom from Charles Woodson. How about that?
It's blank now, but we're about to fill it up.
Yeah, baby.
Oh, it looks so good too, with that silver pen on the football. I know that, Rahman, you're going to proudly display that.
For sure, 100%, 100%. I just really appreciate your time, Charles. That was amazing. Thank you. And many blessings and congratulations to you and your family.
I appreciate it, man. Hey, let me I had to concentrate on that for a minute. It was a lot going down. I had to concentrate. My man.
Yes.
Hey, build your legend, baby.
I love it. Thanks, Charles.
My man.
That's awesome. Thanks so much, Rahman. That's great stuff. Next, we're going to welcome in Josiah from New Orleans. Now, I really think that you're going to like this meet and greet, Charles, because Josiah is a huge fan of wine himself, it appears. And we need to wish him a happy birthday, because coming on Fanatics Live was a 40th birthday gift from his wife and from his son. And he said that he was always a Charles Woodson fan throughout your career in college, but it was the one-handed pick against Michigan State that really sealed the deal. Let's welcome in Josiah. Go for it, birthday boy.
Hey, hold on. You got a little brown. What you drinking on, man?
Oh, man, I got some Uncle Hurst. You know, I'm waiting on your third batch of Woodson whiskey to come to my house.
Yeah.
My lovely wife purchased it for me. So I'm just thrilled to be here with you. And I want to wish you, congratulations on first ballot, my man.
Thank you. I see you got the Build Your Legend shirt on too, man. Hey,
I'm supporting black-owned business, man. I've always been a Charles Woodson fan. And you've been an integral part of my maturation as a black man. So, hey, I need to get some Charles Intercept in there. So it's coming.
All right. You know it's CWInterceptWines.com, man. So
hey, I'm about to join that wine club immediately.
Hey, type your zip code in and it'll tell you where it's at, wherever you are.
Yes, sir. I want to ask you, I've heard and read everything about you as far as football. I don't need to ask those questions. I'm more interested in what you're doing as far as your business. And I want to see, and I want to ask you what you see as far as your maturation of your Intercept Wines and Whiskey. Where do you see that going?
Well, I tell you what, I want to be a household name in this field, right? Or in this business, in the wine business, in the bourbon and whiskey business. I want people to know who I am. Not only, of course, as a football player, my name's on the bottle, my wine bottle is on my whiskey bottle. People will understand who I am based on my playing days. But then I also want them to also look at what's inside the bottle. I want them to see the quality of what I'm selling as well, right? And so what that does is that propels me into a different level as far as this business is concerned. There's a lot of stars or athletes or whatever who have their name on the bottle, and of course they're in it for whatever reason they're in it, and I'm not putting anybody down. But for me, this is I'm in this thing for the long haul. I want my labels to transcend me. So I want to get to a place to where when you go to one of your favorite restaurants, I'm sure you have places where you go where there's staples, right, that are on those wine lists that when you go there, they're always there.
Yeah.
I want to be in that space.
Yeah.
I don't want to one of the places that you go to, I don't want to be there for a period of 3 months and then all of a sudden I'm off.
Yeah.
Right. I want you to be able to go there this year and next year, and you know that Intercept Wines is going to be on the list. I want Woodson Bourbon Whiskey to also be in that space. So I want to move into an area to where I'm a mainstay in the business, and that's kind of where I see it going, and that's what I'm pushing for. And so I'm always, in terms of talking to different vendors or Zoom calls. Everything is Zoom nowadays. So as far as pushing my brand, letting people know what my passion is about it, talking about it, really being about it, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking to be a mainstay. I want you to be able to go wherever you want to go, and Intercept Wine or Woodson Bourbon Whiskey is where you are.
Yeah, I've been looking for it. My wife was looking for it all over New Orleans, and she thought we found a place to get it, but they were out of it. But hey, I'm telling you right now, I'm going to support it. I'm all about supporting Black-owned businesses, and I've always been a big fan of Charles Woodson. Even when you were a freshman, I remember picking off Terry Glenn. This brings back memories. All your accomplishments I can earmark and tell you how I was feeling in my life as a young Black man, the ups and downs. So I'm supporting Charles Woodson. The Woodson Whiskey batch. I'm excited to try batch 3 when it comes here, my house.
Well, look, I'm trying. The whiskey right now, of course, like it's exclusively online, but we're working on distribution. So hopefully, man, we can be in your state soon, man. So I appreciate your support, man. Really do. So we got. Let's get to this ball right here. Empty canvas, right? All right.
Yeah. First ballot, baby.
First, you already know
First ballot.
Josiah, this has got to be one of the best birthday gifts you've received, huh?
Oh man, I love my wife, man. That's how I ended up marrying her, is because she turned in my player's card because she bought me a Charles Woodson Green Bay Packers jersey. So it was over. I knew. I was like, oh man, I got to turn this player's card in. Now it's done.
That is one good woman right there. That's awesome. And yeah, Josiah, Charles Woodson, household name for football, and Charles Woodson, household name for wine, bourbon, and whiskey.
It's going to be right here.
Would you say you 40 years old today, man?
Yes, sir. I am 40 years old.
Oh, this is going to be good, Josiah.
There it is, man. Happy birthday, brother.
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate it. God bless you, bro.
Yes, sir.
Happy birthday, Josiah. Thank you so much. All right, we're going to keep the party going with Dennis from Fort Lauderdale. He believes a leader is someone who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. And if he could be a professional at anything, he would be a professional, good person. We need more people with that attitude. Let's welcome in Dennis.
Absolutely.
Go for it, Dennis.
Hey, Charles. How you doing, buddy?
Doing well. Dennis, how are you?
I'm doing marvelous today. Marvelous. And congratulations on your first ballot haul.
Thank you.
Yep. I know what you're staring at over my shoulder. So.
Yeah, I saw it.
I know.
Hey, hold on. Before you ask, it was a fumble.
Listen, I was gonna say, I was sitting in the stadium that day. I was in the 6th row behind the Raiders bench. Yeah. And when you came in from the left side and hit him, I looked at my buddy and I said, "Game over."
That was it.
And he looked at me and he goes, "Oh shucks," like that. And then all of a sudden, Walt Coleman said, "The play's under review," and he was "Oh my goodness." So I gotta say, I thought it was a fumble too. So have you ever talked to have you ever talked to Tom about it? Oh, I'm sure you have.
No, we've joked about it a little bit, but it is what it is, man. It's not like he made the call.
Exactly. Yeah. So listen. So my question, and you've played among some of the best, and I love the position that you played both positions. You played both safety and corner. Some of my favorite positions of Patriots that I've watched over the years. Ty Law, Asante Samuel. Today I'm looking at a picture across from me, Stephon Gilmore, and some of the safeties like Rodney Harrison and Lawyer Malloy. Patrick Chung, that I've had the pleasure of watching up there in Foxborough, because I still am a season ticket holder up in Foxborough. But I really loved watching you play the positions. What was your favorite position? Safety, corner, and what was your favorite scheme?
My favorite position?
Yeah.
Corner would out of the two, corner is my favorite position. I mean, well, let me rephrase that. really just being a football player was my favorite position because
Okay.
I felt like I could do it all, you know. So for me to be just at the corner, I never felt like I was able to fulfill everything that I could do out on the football field. So that's why it was always fun for me to kind of get to your scheme question is, you know, once I was able to get to the 3-4, which I played in Green Bay, where I was able to move around in, you know, different parts of the game, my role may change. So I may start out at corner. I may move to nickel. I might play the dime linebacker. I might play safety. It moved me all over the field. And that part of the game I loved because really for me, it really took me back to my youth, right? Playing where I'm from in Fremont, Ohio, in a small town where you had to play everything. You know, so I was so used to as a kid growing up to being all over the field. So for me, I would start out by saying, of course, corner on the defensive side would be number one, but then number two would just be the fact that if a team or a scheme or a coach allowed me to move around, then that's the scheme I liked.
Great. Yeah, I like that. That 3-4 gave you that option to do that. So that's cool when you got up to Green Bay.
Yeah, moved around a lot, man. I got the blitz, I got the cover, I tackled. I mean, it was
watching you play safety, I used to love it. You were a hard-hitting safety, kind of that same Ronnie Lott kind of way of doing things, or Rodney Harrison way of doing things.
I love that, Dennis. We're breaking down scheme. I mean, we're talking cover 2 versus single high safety. Like, let's do it. I love it. You're going to be taking home a football just like everyone else, Dennis.
Great. Thank you.
And I love that Charles is.
What do you put on mine, Charles? Let's see.
Yeah, I know. I love that Charles is putting.
I'm about to show you.
You're going to surprise me, I think,
messages.
on this one.
Yeah, everyone's getting a unique message. It's so cool.
I was gonna write fumble on there, but I don't know if you want.
So you should have put it on there.
You want it on there?
Put it on there.
You want it on there?
Put it on there. I was gonna tell you to put game over or something like that, but fumble's good too.
Fumble, man.
That's fantastic, Dennis.
I hope every year that Tom sends you a card, you know, Christmas card or something.
He should.
That's right. He should, absolutely.
There it is.
That is awesome.
Thank you.
Dennis, thanks so much for the question.
Thank you. Thanks.
Cheers.
That's a great move, Charles. I love it. We're going to wrap up questions from fans with Ben. He is actually a Fan Cash Rewards card member, which is awesome. He's calling in from Barberville, Kentucky. And he became a Charles Woodson fan watching your punt return turn touchdown against Ohio State. Let's welcome in Ben. You're up, Ben.
Ben, what's up, man? I think you muted.
Are we good? You hear me?
There we go. We got you.
All right, what's up, man? How you doing?
Man, doing well. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Hey, man, obviously you're a legend in Michigan. You're from the state of Ohio. My question is, if Michigan wasn't an option back in the day, what school, you know, growing up, what's a college you wanted to go to or wanted them to see you play?
So I would say this. First of all, let me say I took 3 visits coming out of high school. I took a visit to Notre Dame, Michigan, and the Miami Hurricanes. And so, of course, I chose Michigan. And then out of the other 2, the only one that I would have considered going to was the Hurricanes. Okay. You know, I was a Hurricane fan. I was a bigger Michigan fan, but I was a Hurricane fan growing up. I loved everything about, you know, watching the Canes, man, their mystique, you know, that bad boy image. You know, I grew up watching, you know, Michael Irvin and all of those guys. You know, when I took my visit down there, Ray Lewis was one of my hosts. You know, so those guys, man, I love the Canes. So if I didn't go to Michigan, I would have gone to the U.
I can see that, man. You carry that
Yeah.
swag just like they do down at the U.
Ain't no doubt about it. No doubt.
Awesome. Thanks for the question, Ben. And just like everyone else, you are going to be taking home one of these footballs. Charles Woodson is going to sign it and personalize it for you. So you can either add that to a collection of memorabilia that you have, or that would be an awesome piece of memorabilia to start a collection with. What do you think you're going to do with that football, Ben?
I have plenty of Packers memorabilia at the house in my man cave, so it's going to be perfect.
So you want to go on there?
Yeah, let's do that.
Oh, let's do that.
Pack goes
Awesome.
perfect.
Boom.
There it is.
Sweet. I really appreciate it,
There you
man.
go. My man. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Ben.
Yes, sir.
Good talking to you, Ben.
And what's awesome about Ben joining us, he was invited to join the show as a perk of having this Fan Cash Rewards card by Fanatics. We hope that this was a memorable experience for Ben. And we're going to be giving you some more information on this card later on in the show, telling you how you can join, all that good stuff. So be sure to stay tuned for that. We've got a couple of questions that we want to hit on for Charles that were submitted through social media. The first one is a video submission from Monica, who is awesome. Let's hear her question.
Hi, Charles. This is Monica, originally from Oakland, but now living in Southern California. I am a Fan Cash Rewards member, and my question for you today is, what is it that you love about the wine business? And P.S., we both know it was a fumble.
How great is Monica?
Hold on, I got to show her. I'm right with her.
Yes.
I'm right with her. The wine business is very interesting. It's very interesting in the regard that, for one, there's so many different labels out there, and as a vintner, you have to, you gotta find your lane, and it's very. It can be a hard business for the simple fact that there's so many. But I think that's what makes it so special, is because there's so many, different winemakers and labels out there vying, for position. And you got to find out, what's unique about, your wine and why your wine should, take up a space that somebody else is trying to take up. So to me, it reminds me a lot of, playing in sports, right? You get to a team and you're trying to solidify yourself on a team. You're trying to create a position for yourself on a team, whether you're a starter or a backup, or whether you're a corner or a safety or whatever it is. You're trying to figure that out. And so that's what the wine business has been for me. It's been, trying to find my position, find my way. And I think I have an excellent team that I work with O'Neill Vintners and with Intercept Wine. I feel like we are, slowly but surely, finding our way in this business. And it's been very rewarding. And I've had a great time doing it. And, just can't wait to see what the future holds, for Intercept Wine. So I'm really enjoying it.
That's a great analogy. And just like you said earlier, we know that no one is going to outwork you in whatever field that you're in. Always about that hard work.
That's
We've
right.
got one more question from social media. This one comes from Nick. He said, Charles, congratulations on the Hall of Fame. What was your favorite thing about playing in Titletown, USA?
Oh, man, it had to be my teammates. And I think back to, the guys that I played with, Al Harris, Nick Collins, Tremont Williams, Sam Shields, Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre. I played with, some great players, my time there in Green Bay. And, that was the thing about, when I went to Green Bay, I've, said this many, many times about when I initially got there, it was hard for me to kind of transition. And it was really those guys, especially those guys on the defensive side of the ball, in particular, Al Harris and Nick Collins and Tremont. It was those guys that kind of helped me just kind of settle down, and just play football there in Green Bay. So it was definitely all about the teammates, man. We had such a great run, had a lot of great times, a lot of great years, that culminated into, us winning the Super Bowl, in 2010. So it's definitely, for me, it's all about those teammates that I played with there in Green Bay.
That's awesome. We're going to have some fun wrapping everything up with a round of rapid fire questions. But first, let's take a moment to hear a quick word from our sponsor.
Introducing the FanCash Rewards Credit Card by Fanatics. Earn 6% FanCash when you shop with your card on Fanatics.com with exclusive cardholder perks and 6-month special financing on purchases of $150 or more. Text now to apply or go to Fanatics.com.
Tonight's show is brought to you by the FanCash Rewards Card, brought to you by Fanatics. For more information on exclusive perks and benefits, you can head over to Fanatics.com, or you can text Fanatics to 94323. You can see that at the bottom of the screen, Fanatics to 94323 to apply now. All right, you ready to finish things off with a round of rapid fire questions? I'm going to give you a question, and I just want you to say the first thing that pops into your mind.
All right, let's see if I can do it.
All right, let's
see
do
if
it.
I can do it right.
More fun to play, offense or defense?
Oh man, geez. You know what? That's more than a one-word answer. Can I give a?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm gonna give a more elaborate answer. I'll be honest with you. Playing offense to me was probably the most fun because, when I was growing up, that's what I did, right? So I was always used to scoring touchdowns and running for a bunch of yards and that sort of thing. It was always great to have the ball in my hands, right? So, all right. So I would say football is more fun. I would say on the defensive side of the ball, defense was always harder for me because offense came naturally. So I felt like I always had to work harder at playing defense. But I did get a lot of interceptions, so I did get the ball in my hands. So I would say kind of
neck and
right
neck,
there.
right? Right there.
Yeah.
Favorite band or musician?
Favorite band or musician, I would say at this point in time, Jay-Z.
Love it. Most influential teammate?
Oh man, most influential teammate. Oh wow. Let's come back to that one.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's come back to that one.
Favorite type of wine? You're going with the Cab tonight. Do you love Cab the most?
Yeah, I love Cab. I love Cabernet. Cab is king. So
Cab is king.
Cabernet is my favorite varietal.
Would you rather coach college football or professional football?
If I coached, it would be professional football.
Now, I think this one might be the toughest one of all. Most rabid fan base: Michigan, Raiders, or Packers?
Raiders by far.
One word to describe the feeling of catching an interception.
Jubilation? Is that a good word?
That's a great word.
Okay.
Your go-to meal to cook.
Go-to to cook? Probably filet.
Yeah.
And usually like a little medley of vegetables. And what else would I have with that?
Maybe a baked potato.
Baked potato might fall in there, but definitely that.
Oh, I was going to say the filet was great with the Cab, so it's perfect.
For sure.
Favorite sport to watch other than football?
Man, I probably watch golf more than anything else now. I'll say golf.
I like it. Now, I mentioned earlier about David Baker delivering the news to you about being in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. So let's go Oklahoma drill, you and David Baker. Who's winning?
Check this out. So I'm going to say David. The reason why is because my whole life I avoided the Oklahoma drill. So I'm not even getting in there.
All right. You want to revisit the most influential teammate, or are there just way too many to narrow it down to one?
Yeah, that's really hard. Just because of the fact that I played with so many guys, especially so many great guys. So let me just run down a few. Tim Brown, Jerry Rice, Charlie Garner. I'll stop with that because I'll be going all day. But I'll sit with those guys right there.
That's awesome. Well, Charles, thank you so much for the time. This has been so much fun catching up with you. Once again, how can people take advantage of ordering your brand of wine, bourbon, or whiskey? Want to give you one more chance to give your company a shout out.
Yep. So CWInterceptWines.com for Intercept lines. And you can go on there, type your zip code in, and it'll show you where we are in your area if you type in your zip code. For the bourbon, it's WoodsonWhiskey.com. And right now, we're only available online, but I am working on distribution. So hopefully we're in a state and town and city near you.
Awesome. That's the first thing I'm going to do when we wrap this up is check out how I can order myself some Cabernet. Charles, thank you again. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Jessica. Thanks for having me.
There he goes, Charles Woodson. That was awesome. I love how he took the time to really, really personalize every single football that went home with a fan and taking the time to answer all of those great questions from all of you out there. Do want to remind you to tune in to Fanatics Live for a doubleheader on February 24th. We've got two awesome guests coming up. You can see it right there. First up, it's Alan Houston, the former New York Knick and the founder of Thistle Brand. Alan Houston is going to be joining us for a Black History Month feature. He's going to be talking about his foundation and really describing his journey from being a professional athlete to a business owner. And then later on that day at 5 p.m., we will catch up with New York Rangers legend Brian Leach. Brian Leach winning a Stanley Cup with the Rangers back in 1994. So that is going to be awesome. Thank you to everyone for tuning in tonight to Fanatics Live. Thank you to everyone who dropped a comment in on the comments section. For more information on how you can become a part of one of our shows or to watch past shows, go to fanatics.com/live. We'll see you next time.